Okay, welcome to the second section. So when we last left the first section, we ended up finishing up the first section with a push, double upward block, cross wrists, splashing yourself, hands fold flat, splashing everybody else, and close. And when we did the close, we came back up to Wu Chi height. So we actually rose up as we were returning the energy to the ground. Okay? If we're continuing on into the second section, instead of rising up, we want to stay sunk down. And what was called close now becomes apparent close or supposed close. So we'll start the first section we'll start the second section after the first section, but still in the sunk down posture. Okay? The first move of the second section is called Embrace Tiger, Return to Mountain. So here's what it looks like. Embrace Tiger. You can see it's like I'm embracing a tiger. And I'm going to do a weird thing, and I'm going to step facing a corner. Return to Mountain. Okay? So, let's go through that. Let's go through Embrace Tiger. After the end of the first section, supposed close. Embrace Tiger. First thing we're going to do is shift our weight to the right foot and turn our hips. We want to keep the left toe on the ground and let the left heel swing out. If you can, see if you can get the left heel so it's pointing side to side. Okay? If you can't quite get it there, that's okay. But see if you can get the foot pointing straight side to side. As we do that, as we shift the weight and turn out the heel, we're going to form this big ball, bigger than we have in other moves. And it's as if you're wrapping your arms around the belly of a big tiger. One arm underneath the belly, one hand resting on the back, or even embracing it. Okay? So this is the Embrace Tiger. You can almost picture there's a tiger standing right next to you. Let's do that again. Hands settle down. And turn. Left heel swings out, arms wrapped around the belly of a tiger. So right now, most of my weight is on my right foot. For the next move, I'll be sinking back to the left foot, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So let me do this facing a different direction. Let me do this facing this direction. So after apparent close, I'm going to shift my weight and open up my heel. Get my foot pointing straight side to side, arms wrapped around the belly of the tiger. So this is as if this is the front of the room right now. And then I'd shift my weight into the next part of the move. Let me do it from the rear. Settling down. Embrace Tiger. Okay, and I'll do it from this side, might as well. Shift the weight, hips turn. You can, with the camera, you can check and see if my foot is pointing straight side to side. So let me do this again. Swinging, Embrace Tiger. Okay. So that's the Embrace Tiger part of the move. The next part is Return to Mountain. So we'll go through Embrace Tiger again. Left heel swings out, arms wrapped around the belly of the tiger. You want the right foot to come in and then step out again. And then Return to Mountain. Right arm sweeps up, left hand sweeps down. Okay? So now I'm facing in this 45-degree angle. My right foot is pointing straight side to side. My left foot is pointing on the diagonal. This is the first time that we've gone to a corner. So if you can see my right foot, it's not pointing side to side, it's not pointing straight back, it's pointing on a 45-degree diagonal. So as I shift my weight from my left foot to my right foot, tiger, my right arm sweeps up, left hand sweeps down. My right arm is moving with my torso, and I shift to about 70% weight on my right foot. Okay? So let's go through that again. Supposed close, embrace tiger, left heel swings out, shift the weight, right foot comes in. It's important to bring the right foot in. I'll explain that in a minute. Right foot steps out and open up. Right arm sweeps up, left hand sweeps down. All right, so a couple notes on this move. First of all, after embrace tiger, I said it's important to bring this foot in and then step out again, okay? So if you remember, Tai Chi started as a martial art, and you can, I have to use a prop here. Since I don't have an opponent here of my own, you can imagine as you're doing this move, one thing that might happen is that an opponent, let me get into this, boom, 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 all right. That an opponent might be stepping here, okay? So what we want to do is bring the foot in and step around the opponent. That ends up being part of the martial aspect of the move. I'm kind of getting my arm in front of them and then sweeping them across my leg. So it's important, as you're doing this, it's important right here to bring this foot in and then step out. What you don't want to do is just swing the foot around, because if my handy dandy fake opponents here, if I try and do that, I'm going to trip over them and lose my advantage. Okay, so that's one thing. Now the other thing I mentioned a few moments ago is that this is the first move that goes to a corner. All the moves in the first section go either straight ahead or to the side or to the side. Okay? So when we're doing the bow stance, we're always facing in one of these directions. But here, we go off to the corner. And having a camera is really good for this. So as we do this move, when we step, I want my bow stance to face the corner. What you'll notice happens is that my heels end up lined up on a straight line here. My left foot is pointing straight out to that wall, and my right foot is pointing right along the diagonal. That's because I'm facing the diagonal. So if I take this stance and just move it, okay, now I have my foot pointing in the direction that I'm going and my back foot at a 45-degree angle to the direction that I'm going. So if I move this back again, this is the direction I'm going. My back foot is at a 45-degree angle to that direction. My front foot is pointing straight in that direction. And in an ideal world, our heels end up on this straight line here. One of the traps of this move is that people will often step and they'll think, I have to step to the diagonal. So they'll step straight out here. But if I turn showing you this stance, this is a very narrow stance. This is very unstable side to side. We want to be in a stance like this. If I take this and turn it all the way around here, you'll notice that that means heels are on this line and I'm facing this direction. Okay? I went into a lot of detail with that because a lot of people get confused about it. If you do, don't worry about it. It'll come with time. So let's go through it one more time. Oh, actually, I should go through the return to mountain part in different directions. Let's go through this from the front first. So, end of the first section, embrace tiger, foot comes in and then steps out, heels on a line, return to mountain. Okay? So let me do this from the back. So it's as if the front is this way. So end of the first section, embrace tiger. Left heel swings out, arms wrap around the belly of the tiger. I'm running into the wall here. Foot comes in, steps out, pointing on the diagonal, return to mountain. Right hand sweeps up, left hand down. Okay? Let me do it from the side. I'll do it from both sides. Let me do it this way first. So, end of the first section, sunk down, embrace tiger. I'm facing that corner, return to mountain. Okay? Let me do it from here now. End of the first section. Embrace tiger. Didn't leave myself enough room. Let me do that again. End of the first section. Embrace tiger. Foot comes in, stepping out, return to mountain. All right, one more time from the front, and then we'll wrap it up and go on to the next move. End of the first section. Embrace tiger. Return to mountain. One more little note about this move. A lot of Tai Chi has philosophical meanings behind the moves. The tiger, this is the first time we come across the tiger. We're embracing the tiger. In the third section, we'll come across the tiger 2 more times, and the tiger represents something a little bit more on the philosophical level. The tiger represents that part of us that we would generally think of as negative, those emotions that we might typically struggle against. So things like anger, fear, sadness, shame. Embrace the tiger represents embracing those emotions. Instead of trying to push them away, we're trying to embrace them and be okay with them. Okay? So that's the embrace tiger part of it. The return to mountain part of it is taking the experience of those emotions and returning to mountain. In traditional Chinese philosophy or traditional Chinese lore, returning to the mountain would be like going up to the top of a mountain to meditate. That might be a little bit exaggerating it, but it's kind of going to that place of contemplation and internal reflection on the emotions that we've just embraced. Okay? So I love that part of Tai Chi. So I like sharing that with you. All right, that's embrace tiger, return to mountain.